welcome everyone to Speakers Magazine. It is the August issue, and we are here with our cover girl, Yolanda M. Smith. Yes, 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 yes. So we're going to be digging into this issue and into her backstory. You can read about her backstory in the magazine, but we're going to really hear from her directly. So I am here. I'm Pam Perry, the publisher of the Speakers Magazine. We are so glad to be on Black Speakers Network platform. And we just had Wednesday, Professional Speakers Day, a great, fabulous show. Brian Oles came with us, and Quinn Conyers and Norma Hollis. It was fabulous. So go back and check it on Speakers Magazine site and also the Black Speakers Network pages. But what I want to do is introduce you to our co-host, Rob YB Youngblood. You
What's
can see
going
that
on?
he has a Speakers Magazine in the back as well. YB, tell us a little bit about you and what you up to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So Rob YB Youngblood, in many circles, I'm known as the LinkedIn locksmith because of my ability to unlock the power of LinkedIn for my clients. I've been speaking for 2 decades, and I focus on empowering professionals on how to monetize their networking skills. And so I'm truly excited about that. This month has been amazing, just reorganizing, rebranding, just really going deeper into the skill set that I have and the offerings that I have, just updating the YB Connects website, where it's the hub for everything that I'm doing. And Dr. Pam, I should have taken your advice a long time ago, and now I'm taking the advice to just make sure I lead from the YB Connects website, which is important. As a speaker, we have so many things that we need to do, but when you get wise counsel, it's so important that you take it. And Dr. Pam Perry is truly wise in her gift and in her craft, and so that's why I'm going to another level. So truly excited about being here with my Speak Sell Shine sister who's in the
Yeah.
building. So looking forward to the interview today.
Yes, yes. So Speak Sell Shine is where YB and Yolanda they met. Last year we were at the National Press Club. It was a small cohort of about 20 of us, and they were speaking, selling, and shining. And so I am so excited to have Yolanda here to talk about her event, her first signature event. uh the brand fluence and launching her book, doing all the things. Who would have thought like that you were gonna be doing this like almost a year from now, right? It was like, we're gonna do this. So Yolanda, tell them a little bit about you, and then we're gonna get into the interview. Tell them your what you're doing in terms of uh your what we talked about in Speak Sell Shine, your 30-second elevator pitch.
Okay. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, YB. It's so good to see you guys again. I am so excited. I am Yolanda M. Smith, people growth leader and brand therapist with a passion to help coaches, entrepreneurs, and professionals to get and stay in business by unleashing the power of their personal brand. So I actually, through my systems, formulas, and guidance, help you to be able to articulate that value, get clarity in it, live authentically so you can make those genuine connections and be able to stand out, get yourself out of the people pile so that you can have the influence, impact, and income that you desire. So I'm a coach, a speaker, a corporate trainer, and I just love to really be able to make a difference in people's lives. So that's
I
what I'm doing.
I love that. Do you all notice, like, exactly? I'm gonna put this on so that people say that me and Yolanda
Yeah,
we look like sisters. So here we go,
winning is
right here,
winning.
twinning and winning. There we
That's
go.
We
right.
did it all the time, all the
I
time.
even
But
got the
there's
T.
not a
I
better
even
sister I'd rather have. So you know what? I take that. I take that as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
oh my god, and I even put on the same colors as well, right? So we're trying to do
That
with
is so
with
funny.
the
Yeah, don't let me
sympathy a
get my
little.
big ones out. Then it'd be really on.
Well, you notice I want to say that YB and Yolanda, they are the stars of the the 30-second soundbite. If you remember, YB led with what he was known as the
Mhm.
LinkedIn locksmith. So if you don't remember anything, it's LinkedIn locksmith. Yolanda, the same thing. Her moniker was brand therapist. So
Mhm.
you remember those two, and then they don't tell you who they are in terms of like a moniker, but they also tell you who they do it for and why.
Mhm.
So if
Yes.
you take anything, replay this again and realize that they did the A star, 5-star elevator pitch. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things when people say, "Hey, tell me about yourself." We don't go back, "Well, I went to school
Yeah.
in and I live in this and that and I was born in." I was like,
Right.
"No, it's not an obit. It's not,
Yeah.
we're not putting people to sleep
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
We want to say something exciting." And most people are listening to what's in it for them.
For them.
Yes,
Yep.
yes,
So YB
yes.
tells you what's in it for you in terms of what he helps you with in terms of LinkedIn and visibility. And
Yep.
then Yolanda tells you what she helps you with in terms of branding. So that is really, really, really key. So let's kind of dig into this a little bit. I'm going to say that I love this cover. It is gorgeous. It is everyone I love, but this one is so soft and beautiful. And it's so, there you go.
Mm, look at that.
Oh my
Look at
God.
that.
I love
Oh,
this.
Look
Oh
at
my
that.
oh,
God. So I'm going to be
amazing.
traveling with this to the fabulous Indianapolis. And Yolanda, tell us a little bit what I'm going to be traveling to and what I'm going to be doing there and what you got going on there in fabulous
Okay,
Indianapolis.
because if when I tell you I am busy, I am busy. So literally August 17th is Brand Fluence. That's our signature event where we're having a premier personal branding experience for people to come out and really get advanced strategies on how to really brand yourself and stand out. You're going to get Dr. Pam Perry be there giving you PR and media strategies, because it's so important that once you cultivate your brand, you do something with it, right? You got to get known. And then we've got Dr. Shelley coming in to talk about self-care, because we all know that if we're leading, and we're all leaders, that we've got to be taking care of ourselves. And then also we have the opportunity to listen to none other than the renowned body language expert, and she is the sales guru, sales queen, Linda Clements. So it is going to be an action-packed day where you get personalized services. You're going to get a professional makeover. You get photo shoots. You get your brand video. I mean, it's indulgent, right? We're going to immerse you into a very, very nice exclusive experience. So it's just going to be amazing. You know, we kick off with the networking session on Friday night, and we end with the mastermind on Saturday night. And we're changing and switching locations because I want people to be able to experience my wonderful city, Indianapolis, Indiana.
That is so good. That is so good. I was trying to take screenshots of you. You were so excited. You were just moving too fast. I was like, okay, I can't get this screenshot. She's excited. So you're kicking off the book as well. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about the book. And I'm gonna let YB kind of ask the next two questions because I'm excited
Yeah.
too, because
Right.
I love what you're doing. So
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You've been there from the beginning, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say, between you and Linda Clements, I did not, let me be clear, did not want to do a live event, and they pushed and pushed. This is the power of having great coaches, right? And
Mhm.
great people in your life, because they take you out of that comfort zone. So I just need to say that I mean, they made me very comfortable being uncomfortable. And I mean, she's all day, every day, here, do this, do that. I'm like, you know, but you absolutely can. You just got to follow the plug and do that. So yes, this is quite the undertaking. I just posted last night, I'm doing one of the riskiest things I've probably done in life, right? Launching a book and my first in-person event at the same time. This is no small feat, you guys. I mean, because you already know what it takes to launch a book by itself, and then all the intricacies of doing an event. And so it's going to be so amazing, because we're going to do a launch party at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the Brand Fluence event. We're going to go live on several of the streaming platforms, and then allow people to come in and celebrate with us and help to make Brand Fluence ignite your brand power on social media for result and revenue, a bestseller. So I
Mhm.
am just over the moon. Nerves are kicking in, you know, the adrenaline's flowing, but truly this is going to be an amazing, remarkable, unforgettable experience.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing, Yolanda. So tell us what is the long-term goal of not only the event but of the book as well? Like, because a lot of people think that, folks just do stuff just to do it. But knowing you personally, I know that there's a method to the madness. Could you talk a
Yes.
little bit about what that method is and what you're looking to accomplish in the long term?
Yes. So I think that what I do is based on the experiences I have, and based on things that I may be apprehensive about doing, which social media it was one of those, right? How do you do that? But knowing it's a necessary thing that you must do. I felt like it was important to take somebody like me who is not the guru, doesn't have a million likes, and really give somebody the real truth about social media, the good and the bad. So in this book, I'm going to tell you about why it's great and what you need to do, but I'm also going to share with you some of the watch outs and some of the limitations, because with every good there's a yin to the yang, right? There's always that other side to it. And most people won't tell you that, because for me, I had to make the mistakes. If I've made the mistakes, I want people to learn from them. And so it's a little bit about my journey with social media, but also figuring out what worked by getting coached up and working with good people and being able to replicate the results myself, that I felt like I was comfortable enough that I wanted to share this so that people could have success on social media and be able to ignite their brand, monetize, get the influence and the authority and expertise out there so people know who they are. So it takes you through the whole gamut, right? We talk about the strategy. It's not just about throwing things out there. We talk about how you show up, the colors you choose, how you position yourself, where's the consistency along the platforms, and many other things that we go through. I really focus on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and then I do have a chapter that gets into the TikTok and YouTube and threads. And, we got every day is something else popping up, the Pinterest of the world and all these, and how they can actually maximize their brand on those platforms as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who would you say this book is for, and why should they even, get their hands on it?
Honestly, I looked at it and went back through it and I said, whoa, this is pretty remarkable. I mean, Dr. Pam read the book. She wrote the foreword to the book. I mean, you look at this, and one of the things we know is that whether you're just starting out or whether you're seasoned, I think there's something in there for everybody, because what I did do is I did the due diligence to research and say, where are we today? Not where we were 5 years ago or even 3 years ago. What's happening in this marketplace today? What are the trends today? Where can people get the biggest traction? So helping someone understand that even if you are seasoned at it, are you maximizing your brand so that you can monetize? What does that look like? Are you really utilizing all the tools? I learned things even in my research. I didn't know there was an IGTV. I mean, there's things in here that I learned that I'm sharing with the audience to say, hey, this is going to be your book. You're going to be able to use this as your handbook to get you fundamentally where you need to go on Facebook. Now, here's the caveat to that. 2-3 years from now, we might have to do a revision and an edit, because the world moves fast, technology moves fast. But where we sit today, you can absolutely take this, know how to do everything from creating the strategy, creating your profile, engaging, monetizing, you name it. We give you the tips here.
Mm-hmm. And the main thing is about strategy, and that's what you talk about. And that's really from your corporate background of just really having a cohesive strategy, having those objectives, reaching those goals. So how has your corporate career help your entrepreneurial journey in terms of how you see things and even how you set things up in terms of your business methods?
That's an excellent question. I literally was on a show the other day, and they were talking about transitioning, right? The show was about transitioning and talking about my journey and transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship. Interesting enough, what I did learn, and I learned it pretty quickly, is that corporate is one thing, entrepreneurship is another thing. That, while you can marry some of the things, it's very different, because in corporate, they give you the processes, the systems, the structure, right? Yes. So you kind of get set into that, and they say, follow this blueprint. In entrepreneurship, you got to create the blueprint. Okay. And that's one of the things that I learned, that in talking and starting when I started my coaching career, that so many people, particularly entrepreneurs, coaches, small business owners, they have great ideas and they go straight to tactics, forgetting to lay that framework. So I was able and blessed to be able to not only do the branding piece, because, I've been branding for well over a decade. I started in 2013 with personal branding. But then I said, well, how can I make this so that it's relevant and they get it? And I said, you've got to add the business strategy with it, because a brand by itself is just you saying, I know who I am. But then how are you going to amplify that into the marketplace and put it in a framework that will be sustainable? Because most businesses are out of business in 5 years. I can say I've surpassed the 5-year mark. So yay, I think I know a thing or two. And I just took that expertise, because I did a lot of strategy, a lot of business development and marketing in the pharmaceutical industry. I took those transferable skills, and now I share those with my clients so that they too can set themselves up for sustainable success.
That's good. That is
Yeah.
good. Yeah, most businesses do fail the first 5 years, and it's not because of lack of clients or even delivery of the product. It is the systems,
That's right.
because they can't scale. They don't have a system. And I remember I've been in business 24 years. The first few years being in business, I just did the work. I
Yeah.
did the work, and I did not really look at the systems of even things like invoicing. It's like I did not have a system. I would send it out, but there was no reminders. It was just it was a hot mess. It was just because you're just when you work for a company, you have other people that are doing those other things.
That's right.
But when
Yep.
you're entrepreneur, just starting out, you're doing all the things. And
Yes.
I just could not. I'm the IT person. I'm like, what?
Operations, sales, right?
Operations.
You got 13 jobs, 13 jobs.
Yes,
Yolanda, let me ask you this.
and you
Oh,
only want to do the ones that you like, right? You only want
yeah,
to do the part why you
For
started the business.
sure.
I only like doing this part. I don't want to do that part. So
yeah,
that eventually you do sales so that you can hire someone to do the other part that
absolutely.
you're not good at. So yeah, go on.
Find
Absolutely.
your who.
Yeah. You mentioned, Yolanda, before we came on, that if you would have known sooner, you probably would have departed from corporate sooner. Talk a little bit about, can you go deeper on that? Because there's a lot of folks who watch this show that are, they're part-time, right? They're not full-time speakers. They work a
Yeah.
full-time job. They're just getting their speaking career up and running. Talk about, like, you're down the line quite a bit. So
Yeah.
what does that mean, that if you knew what you knew, what you know now, that you probably would have exited corporate sooner?
I think fundamentally it goes back to your mindset, right? What do you believe? The beliefs that you hold, not only in terms of, a belief, the mindset, typically those limiting beliefs come in 3 areas. It's money, it's ability, and it's time, right? I don't have the time. I don't have time. I don't have money. I can't invest in myself. I can't do these things. Or ability. Nobody's going to believe me. I'm not enough. I don't have these degrees, these certifications, and things like that. I think in my case, it was a little bit about those limiting beliefs about how you grew up and what they told you were supposed to do. They said, go to school, get an education, go work for a company, stay there forever, get a pension, and then you'll be set for life, right? And so I think for me, working so long in the pharmaceutical industry, my career matriculated. I was into senior leadership, but the key is that with the pension that you don't even hear about today, right? But with the pension, it was a bit of golden handcuffs, because you're a little afraid to leave, and then yet, if you left, what if? Because you were going into the unknown. But what I can tell you is that people told me years ago, and I'm saying when I started my business in 2018, I had some very, very reputable people that said, Yolanda, you got it. Just go, just jump. You'll catch your wings on the way down. And you guys, I held on, and I was scared. And it wasn't until I got into what I felt like a tension. I was negotiating with God, and I said, when it gets tense, I'll know it's time to go. Because I felt like even God was giving me the signs in 2018, go. I was scared, you guys. And that is it. That fear will hold you back. And what we know is that fear and faith can't coexist, right? And so when I finally made that decision a couple years ago to just let it go, and I was just like, I've had enough. I just believed in myself, and I said, you go do it. And I took that leap. And I'm telling you, when I remember pushing that button to say that I was retiring, do you realize that in that moment, I mean, like within 3 days, I had 3 people call me and want to work with me. I was like, oh
Mm.
my God, this is crazy. And it just has gone up, up, up from there. I mean, it was just that belief in myself and that fear that held me back. So this is what I would say to anybody listening. If you're scared, let me tell you, don't allow the money to hold you hostage. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm making more money than I ever made in corporate America. And I've not even been out that long. You'll be amazed what you can do and how you can really ignite on your talents and your skills, where sometimes you're in those environments, they dim you, they hold you back. I'm not saying quit your job, but you can also think about what does that transition look like. But for me, the biggest regret right now is I didn't do it sooner. The freedom, the ability to be the boss of me, you know, all those things that intrinsically I can go be with my daughter at college if I need to be there. I can move around the cabin however I choose to. That's so rewarding.
Mm-hmm. And I like the fact what you said too is that you are the CEO of you, or the
Yes.
CEO of your own brand.
Yes.
And that is a t-shirt I believe you have, isn't
Yes, I do.
it?
CEO of the brand called me, right?
Yes, there you go. The CEO of the
Yes.
brand called me. And so many people are afraid, but one of the things that you did that I saw before we even started working together is that you invested in yourself. You invested in education, you invested in
Mhm,
coaches and conferences.
mhm,
Talk about some of the
mhm,
conferences that you've gone to that have each one have been your aha moment and really introducing you to people. I have always been a conference queen. I love conferences ever
mhm,
since like high school, like DECA, right? Like I think I
mhm.
remember going to a DECA conference when I was in
I
high
was
school. I
in
was,
DECA. We are
oh my
sisters.
gosh,
Oh
did
my goodness. I
20.
literally held an office. I think I was like the secretary or something of the, or I was
that's when
in
I caught the
DECA.
bug.
What
That's
is
when I
that?
caught the bug.
Distributive Education Clubs
Education.
of America or something like that.
Yes. I
Yeah.
caught the bug then. I caught the bug then. I really did. And I went back a few years to actually be a judge at one of the DECA conferences. It
Oh
was
my
one of, but it
goodness.
was so eye-opening. The classroom is one thing. But when
Yeah.
you go to a conference and you meet all the other people and the experience of it is
Mhm,
where I became the conference queen. I mean, literally. The only thing I remember about DECA, that because I was from Detroit and I went to Cass, is that there wasn't a lot of black people there. So I went back to Cass and I started like our own like DECA that was
Right.
for black people. And
yeah.
I've always been on that track. But anyway, I
Yeah.
digress. But yes, talk about your conferences and things that you've gone to that have
You
helped.
know, this was interesting. I have to tell, you know, in full transparency, and being in the pharmaceutical, I did a lot of conferences, but they were very pharma related. Now they could have been around marketing, tech, whatever. I spoke at multiple conferences, but I spoke on behalf of the companies that I work for. So it was never like I was paid to speak, you know, that sort of thing. You would get maybe your travel or the conference fee waived. But so I did a lot of speaking there. So I too was on the conference circle because I am a curious learner. I love to learn. I think you got to stay up on trend and know exactly what's going on so that you can maximize, you know, whatever you're doing for your clients and things like that. But then after I got out of that, I started going to one of the first conferences I went to was a conference held by Dr. Eric Walton. It was a E50 conference where they took 50 of the most powerful, some powerful leaders and brought them together, right? And I was at this conference and I learned so much at that conference that I was like, oh my God, that was the conference that really changed everything for me. I was mid-career and I realized during that conference as they talked about the power of mentors, coaches, and sponsors that I didn't have one. I'm mid-career,
Mm.
having success in
Mhm.
leadership.
Mhm.
And didn't have a coach. And I marched back to the organization. I went into the VP's office and I go, where's my mentor? How come
Right.
nobody's ever tried to get? He was like, what are you talking about? They just made the assumption because I was successful that I already had one. Somebody
Mhm.
thought I had one. Nobody ever bothered to ask, right? But that was at that point where I was just committed that I would shout this to the mountaintops and tell people how important it is. Since then, like you, I've attended lots of conferences, right? I've been to a lot of conferences. I like women conferences. I like networking conferences. You know, I've been to multiple. I've gone to podcast summits. I've gone to, I mean, you name it. I've probably at least touched it a time or two. But here's the power of that. The power of that is you get in the room, because if you're not in the room, that's where the magic happens. So you're missing out. And it's about really going in and making powerful connections, whether you're going, to the Women of Power from Black Enterprise, or you're headed over to PNC, the Power Networking Conference, or you're going to the Reset Conference, some of the women's conferences, these sort of things, and the reality though is that you want to build connections and relationships, because that's the new currency, right?
Yes.
Your network is your net worth. It equals that. And so that's where you meet people. That's where you have the opportunity to make the initial contact, but then it's up to you to continue the relationship beyond that. And the other thing I learned there too was the power of investing in myself. I used to not invest in myself. I didn't know that was, we don't know what we don't know. Somebody's got to tell us. And that's one of the things that I am so passionate about. Investing in yourself is the greatest gift you can give yourself. Think about it. Get a coach. You can go so much further faster. Why would you sit around here and try to do it by trial and error? When you can have somebody that can take you along, you learn from their mistakes. Get with people that are where you are. Don't get in rooms where you're the smartest person. That's not a good room to be in. You need to be in a room where you can learn something.
Yes. And I always tell people you can either learn from mistakes or mentors.
That's right.
Choose. Yeah, you get to, but the beauty is you get to choose. You get to choose. Yeah.
I think mentors are better than the mistakes. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, no question. Mistakes leave the scars though. So, you always looking at say, man, I'll never do that again. Yolanda, real quick, there are some people that are likely listening that are saying, I just can't afford it. I just, you want me to go out and invest myself. Like, how do I do it if I don't have the money? I remember my first Eric Thomas conference in St. Louis, right? I didn't have the money, but I did a powerful move and I asked someone to invest in my professional development.
There you go.
What would you say to that person that's listening, that's on the fence? They're hearing you, they're feeling you, they want to go to these conferences, but they're looking at the budget and it's like, I just don't have it. What would you say to that person?
You know what? When they tell me they can't afford it, I tell them you can't afford not to. I mean, that's it. And the reality is you have to ask yourself, how bad do I want it? Because most people, and this came from Martin Luther King, most people pay for what they want and beg for what they need, right? Pay for what they want and beg for what they need. So what I would say to you is you have to look at how important is it to you and how resourceful can you be? How resourceful are you willing to be? Because we don't lack resources. We lack resourcefulness. And that's a big difference. And so, quite frankly, I get it, but I'm not buying it because I'm looking at this same person and they've got designer clothes on. They're looking good, the hair, the nails, the red bottoms, you're all dolled up. You're driving very nice cars, all these things. And I'm not saying don't have those things. But what I'm saying to you is you have to make a decision, your choice. Do you want to look rich or do you want to be rich?
That's
a coach talking right there. Because when you get into the coach mode, we start stepping on toes. I think some people, hey, in the comment, just put amen or ouch. If it touches you, amen or ouch.
And it's not meant to be, I'm not, everybody gets choices. That's the beauty of life. But we can always make an excuse. And one of the things we will say is we don't have the money. But yes, you do. You know what I mean? You'll be amazed at what you can come up with. If you have a strategy, if you have a plan, these conferences they're not pop-up conferences. These major conferences, you will know a year in advance when they're coming back. You have an opportunity to save that money, or you have an opportunity, like you said, to align yourself with somebody that's willing to invest in you. There's no reason you cannot be in the room. And it doesn't matter if you can't be in the room at the VIP or diamond levels. That's okay. Just get in the room. I bought a general admission ticket to an event, and I made it clear to the event sponsor. I said, but I want you to understand there's nothing general admission about me. I'm VIP. But you know what I did? I went and found ways to serve. That's another way. You want to know how to get in the room? Serve. And that's what I did. And before I know it, not only was I VIP, I was also on the stage. Okay. And I started out with a general admission ticket.
Yes.
That is it.
But you got to be willing to serve. So you've got to be creative and thinking, how bad do I want it? And if I do, I can find ways,
Mhm.
you know, to get myself let's be creative. You know, influential people are not always concerned about being right. You don't have to be right about it. Go be effective. Figure it out.
Mhm.
That's what we've got to do today. How bad do you want it?
Got to
You
figure
know,
it
are
out.
you willing to sacrifice? Because that's the big word, sacrifice. Because you're saying I don't have it, but you're sitting over here at the Ruth Chris eating a $200 meal, which could have went toward the ticket,
Mhm.
right? You got to really just think differently. We got to
That is
think
so true.
differently.
It's one of the things, and we're gonna go to the magazine, but when I first started out, one of the places where I knew I wanted to go was all of the book conferences. So there's Book Expo of America, there were the book festivals in other cities, and I didn't have the money. I was just starting out. I quit my job,
Mhm.
right? So I wanted to be this literary publicist, and I needed to go to these book conferences. And it was kind of like what you said. At the very beginning, I didn't have the money. I offered to volunteer. So I
Yes.
came and I was taking tickets, okay, but I was in the room. I went to some and I even asked some of the conferences, do they have scholarships and and
Mhm.
and what that would look
And they
like.
do.
Some of the beginnings, I would say, can we barter? I will help promote your conference if you give me a conference ticket. I mean, you talking about when there is a lack of resources, sometimes you are the most resourceful because you are pulling out all the creativity. And
Yeah.
so if there's a place that you really, really want to go to, figure it out. You can ask someone to sponsor you and invest, like YB said, invest in your career so that they know that you're really serious about this and you're going to work really hard to make them proud and then pay them back
That's right.
Yeah.
probably. And then the other time is just volunteering to be part of
Yeah. Yep.
that association. And I always tell people that's a great way to even start out. I think that being to conferences is so life-changing. All the conferences that I've gone to, most of the people who, I'm in touch with them on social media, but they say, "I remember meeting you at a conference years
Mhm.
ago. I remember meeting you at
Mhm.
a conference." And there's
Mhm.
something different about knowing someone on social media and then actually seeing them face to face and feeling their energy. And so you're
Mhm.
the same person online as you are at the
Mhm.
conference. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah. And that makes them want to know, like, and trust you better because they have
That's
met you in
right.
person. So Brand Fluence is next weekend. We have a couple of general admission tickets left. So if you
Yes,
want to
but
go to
get in the
Brand,
room. But get
get
in
in
the
the
room.
In the
You know,
room.
and I
the
want to say
VIP is
this.
sold out, but get in the room
Yeah.
because you never know what can happen, right?
Yep.
You never know.
I want to say that her mentor, Linda Clemens, is the beast. She just spoke at Mind Valley. And
Mind
I
Valley,
think so people travel to Mind Valley from all over the world. She's spoken in
the
front of
world.
5,000 people, and she's going to be at this event, almost like a small cohort of people there where you can actually meet and touch her and talk to her.
That's
If
right.
I were you, I would get a plane, train, or automobile and try
Yeah.
and get there
Yep.
to meet Linda Clemens. She
Mhm.
is, and her name is trademark. Okay, so that just talks about
Yeah,
how
Mhm.
much
yeah,
of a beast she is. Her
that's
name,
Mhm.
right.
but
No, that
brand.
was huge, though. I mean, can you imagine getting on stages like that? I mean, and if that's something you desire, well, don't you want to be close to the people that are doing it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
look at you're a PR beast. If you feel like you need PR media, you guys, I was on the cover with Tony Robinson. I mean, at the cover of New York
New York
Weekly,
Weekly.
and Tony Robinson was on that cover. I mean, I wasn't on the cover, I was in the magazine, but
Mhm.
just to be in close proximity.
Mhm.
Yes.
Proximity is power. We can't say it any better than that. Proximity is power. And once you understand that, your life can change. It only takes one person.
One person,
Literally
one
one
connection,
person can change the dynamics
one
of your
connection.
the trajectory of your career and everything. And I've been blessed to meet several people. So thank you to everybody who has poured in me. I sincerely mean it because it has made such a difference. And, I remember not being coachable. I remember, go ask Linda Clemens when she first met me. I wasn't coachable. She was like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do with her, but sometimes we have a level of success that we don't understand the value of being coachable, right? And once I was able to recognize within myself that you're not listening, you're not doing what you could be doing. And when I was able to turn that lever on, ooh, we pour it in, tell me, give it to me, because literally everything just turned on a dime and started going in the right direction. The momentum came and it started to happen. So sometimes as seasoned professionals, we struggle to be coachable by people, and we've got to get out of that and understand we have the capacity to learn from others. And it doesn't mean that that person has to have, I don't care if they got a GED or a PhD, they may have gems and knowledge that you don't possess that you could benefit from.
That's
Yeah.
true. That is
Yeah.
so true. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I think Monet is going to pull up the magazine now if she can, and we kind of go through it page by page so that we can kind of get through this. It is so. Oh, I love this cover.
The cover is beautiful. I
Oh
have to
my
tell
God.
you, I'm
It's so
excited. Yes.
soft and just, it's so inviting. It's so
Yes.
inviting. It looks like, come to the table. And it talks about the power of personal brand and introducing brand influence. I love the logo too, by the way. So I love that
Thank
as
you.
well. That is one of the things.
I have a
Chief,
good brand team.
yes, yes. And the chief brandtherapist, that's a registered trademark as well. Branding for Success LLC, creator of the Brand Fluence experience, not just an event, but the experience. So it
Yes.
has all the moving parts.
Yes.
She just can't be just normal having an event. This is an experience, right? So we're gonna call her extra extra, but that
I
is
am
what
extra. I
that
admit
is.
it. I am extra, and I like nice things. I like pretty things. I like luxury. And when I say
Mhm.
that, that's a vibe. I'm not saying everything has to cost a gazillion dollars, but it's the atmosphere, the
Yes,
vibe you create. And I've been telling people brand fluence is a vibe.
yes.
And they'll see that. They'll experience that this
Mhm.
weekend.
The one of the things too, YB has a book called
Yeah,
Collaboration
collaboration creates
Creates
currency. Yep.
Currency.
Hmm.
Collaboration creates currency. And this of you guys, this is what you all are about. That is, you all have the same type of vibe. I know both of you guys like individual, but you all are collaborators. And that
Yes.
is where your currency comes from because I see that in both of you guys. It's really, really key. Um, Uncle George, George Fraser, the Power Networking Conference. We've all been to his conferences. I think if you're a
Yes.
Black person, you probably have at least gone to one of his conferences. He's had them for like 20 years. But that is one of the main things of just really collaboration creates currency. And it is about really branding yourself with YB, with you doing the rebrand of
Hmm.
your website. You're really doing a little bit of a pivot
Hmm.
about that, but it's still consistent,
Hmm.
but it is really just refining. I just call it refining. So
Yep.
that's one of the
Mhm.
main things.
Hmm.
And so the next page, Monet, is really just digging into some of the people in the magazine that are uh, speakers of Yolanda and some of the people that are going to come to the event as well. So the
Mhm.
brand influence, the personal branding experience premiere. Personal branding experience is happening next weekend, brandfluence.tv. You can always go there. You can find out more information. And then afterwards, you'll probably be able to get the book as well. Speak Sell
Yes.
Shine is where we all met. It's
Yes.
coming up again in this October at the Howard Theater. And hopefully, we'll have the reunion with you guys there as well. But it is a small, intimate group, invitation only. You fill out application and then we kind of see if you fit. And they know that I wanted to put together a group of people that will fit with each other. So that was the magic there. Willie Jolly was there. Sherwood was there. Again, collaboration creates currency. That's
Media, you had so much media there. That was
yeah,
absolutely amazing
yeah,
just to get exposure,
yeah.
to people, whether they were radio, TV, to really understand the power of
Mhm.
media. And how do you get media, right? How do
Yeah,
you get it? Because people don't know. So that this,
yeah,
if you really are interested in putting yourself out there, and you don't have to be wanting to be a speaker to attend this, you have to just be wanting to be able to articulate messaging to others,
mhm.
whether that's through workshops, whether that's through your work or whatever. But this is an excellent program. So I highly encourage you to apply for Speak, Sell, and Shine. It was a
Hmm.
game changer. Not to mention, I met some bad to the bone people that I've
Yes,
stayed connected with. It was great. And we were at the press club, and that was
yeah.
prestigious in
Oh
itself.
yeah.
I love it. I want to make sure I even had a Yannick Rice Glam there. She was a professor from Howard University, Dr. Yannick. She was there. I mean, just the people there
Yes.
were my friends, and I wanted you all to meet them to know what the media is involved. And of course, obviously, the Black press was there. So we had Denise Barnes there as well from the Washington Informer. So, yeah, those are the things that I really want people to understand. And Kelly Wright, is Sharon
Yes.
Moore. Those are the people that I want you to know that they are rooting for you, that they want you. They want you to come forward. And you all have them as friends, and you can reach out to them at any point in time. If you have something new that you want to get on, they're there for you. So that's really, really key. You know what, Yolanda? So the next page, there has not, we've been together a few times, but we didn't have a lot of pictures of us together. We had a lot of video together. So this
Mhm.
was a photo of us at SpeakerCon at Sherwood's, believe, and where I was actually interviewing you, and I had to do a screenshot. I was like, I can't find a photo of us together. It was just all video. So anyway, so that was a screenshot of us, and it really talking about SpeakerCon and that sort of thing. Again, you kind of notice that she wears her brand colors, so she's about branding. So she does have on that teal again as well. So that is one of the things that you'll notice about Yolanda. With no matter what conference you go to, you'll notice how she is showing up, how she's positioning herself, and it's never going to be random. Okay, so if you go through any of her branding challenges, you know she teaches you about positioning and how to do all of that thing. So as well, Linda Clemens, love her, love her. She's going to be a part of that. If you kind of hover over that a little bit, Monet, you kind of see that there's videos in there as well. And so that was a video that Yolanda, that I have of her on your show when you were doing with that
Oh,
gentleman.
the Andre the Beast Creighton show.
Yes,
Yeah, where I
that
was
was
co-hosting. Yeah,
yes,
nice.
yes. So that's that video there. Not Mind Valley. It was the one of you interviewing her. So you could just kind of see a different side of Linda there, right?
Nice.
Yes, yes. So that was there as well. And then the other video, I believe, is you really talking about brand influence on the other page.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next page, I believe, is one of your speakers. Again, yes, Dr.
Yes.
Shelley. Tell us about Dr. Shelley.
What an amazing individual. Now, this is the power of being in the communities, right? And you find your tribe. And I literally met Dr. Shelley. It's been just about a year and a half ago. We were actually in the same coaching program
Okay.
with Spectacular Smith, who is one of the social media gurus around for Instagram. Yeah, he's a big Instagram guru, and he does a lot in the digital space. And that's where I met her. And actually, we formed a friendship, and just to understand who she is. I mean, she's a professor by trade, and really big also on learning and working with, learning compromised individuals as well. But she is so powerful. She's got so many gifts. But one of the bigger things is around leadership, right? And empowerment. And it's really for her about how do you lead with balance? Leading with balance. So how do we as leaders, and particularly women leaders, it seems like it's about women a lot, YB, but trust me, we know the brothers are in there too. When I tell them my vision is to help 100,000 women and a few good men, but for some reason, men tend to be attracted to more of the men coaches. I get it, and we track probably 98%. My audience is 98% women, but really, how do you get that balance in your life? So she's going to be at Brandfluence, really giving us some strategies and tips on really how to strike that balance so that we can be productive. You can be focused, you can be, sharp, and make sure that you're managing that home life as well as that work life, and doing it in a way that it's really integrated and not, I got to do this over here and then this over here. So I'm excited to hear from her. Oh, and Dr. Wendy Labatt's in the magazine.
Yeah.
That's another one of my sisters. She's going to be at the conference as well. And I met her in a coaching program with Linda Clemens. Look, you guys, I believe I'm coached up. Okay. I don't play. Yes, I got coaches and that's helped the trajectory. And the best way I can explain it to you guys, some people want to break it down. They only understand it when it comes to dollars and cents. Right. But one coach, that social media coach, Spectacular Smith, taught me some things. And on one stream of income, let's say that I invested, and I know this is a lot, but I invested probably in totality about 40 grand with him. But the reality is what he taught me is producing like $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good investment?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's
You see
and
what I'm
that's for a
saying? You
lifetime.
invest 10,000 over here in your, and sometimes we got to go, and you may have to get some credit card or some loans to do it, but that's good debt when you're investing in you, on
That's right.
versus on you, right? I'm not
Mhm.
saying go get that and then go buy pocketbooks and shoes, but if you're putting that into yourself, getting the knowledge and the skills you need, and you know how to execute and get a return, those are good investments. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I met Dr. Labat. She's the financial cures. Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. She's bad to the bone too. She's got her own show doing her thing. Yep. These are going to be some amazing people here. You guys want to get in the room, brandfluence.tv. Don't miss your opportunity to get into the room with some very, very powerful people.
And this right here is the brand therapist empowering through personal branding. So you could read the story here, Monet. That's the center spread there, and really introducing the book.
Yes.
In the book here, that will be that particular day, and so it'll be streaming and all the platforms. But again, Yolanda M. Smith is also the website as well that you can go to as well to find out more about her, look at her speaker reel, download her one sheet, all those wonderful things.
Yep.
Again, that picture there is from the press club, which she has in that beautiful shade over there, that orange. There was
Mhm.
someone that I saw not too long ago. She was with Colorcom. I think her name is Lauren Williams. Lauren Williams she was on The View and she was on Today Show, and she had on a monotone, monochromatic shirt and suit. So if it was lavender, it was a lavender silk shirt and a lavender.
Mhm.
On The
Mhm.
View, it was like an orange suit with an orange silk shirt. I was
Mhm.
like, "Get the girl." So anyway, I noticed things like that, right? Because that was one of the things I was like, "Okay, well, how are you showing up on television? How are you doing?" And she
Mhm.
did that thing. Her name is Lauren Williams, Colorcom. She works with women of color in communications. The next page is Relisa Wearing. She's a veteran. Salute to her. Author, empowerment leader, transforming women's success with the Rise Her network. Again, collaboration creates currency. She has a network called Rise Her, not Riser, but Rise Her. And she's been doing this for a while. I love the fact that she really wanted to be in this issue because she knew the power that you were talking about branding. And she really had a lot of respect and admiration for you. And she wanted to be in this issue. The next one is an article that I pinned, just really talk about the power of personal branding. I mean, you can't get PR unless you have a brand. And so
Mhm.
really I just talk about how you unlock media, opportunities when and speaking opportunities when you have a personal brand. So a lot of people were like, I want to get publicity. It was like, well, what are you talking about? Can you figure it out for me? No, no, ma'am. You need a brand first, then we can promote you. I'm not gonna try to figure out your brand, then to try to promote you. That's just double
Mhm.
work. Go to Yolanda first, then come back to me. Okay. Uh
And I'm
this
telling you, wait a minute, but you're going to be there teaching as well. I mean, and
yeah.
helping people understand. What's your topic?
My topic is really talking about the power of media and how
Yeah.
the power of publicity really, really helps you separate yourself from the fray. And
Mhm.
I love social media and all that, but when you are on a particular The View or Today Show or those kind of things, how to really get there, it just separates you and you're in a whole nother stratosphere. So I'm
Yeah.
really talking about that as well because it's important. And it not to say that social media isn't, but media social media will amplify if you're ever on
Mhm.
any media. If you're in the
Yeah.
newspaper, a magazine, television show, podcast, social media amplifies that. So you
Mhm.
just can't go on social media and just post pictures of yourself all day. You're posting the fact that you were in the media. So that's one of the things I'm just talking about.
And if they want to be a speaker, I mean, you got to go to Speak, Sell, and Shine, and you got to check her out, because here's the other
Yeah.
thing too. When you go to apply for some of these bigger conferences, one of the questions is have you had any media lately?
Yes.
And
Right.
if you cannot say yes to that, if you
Mhm.
cannot drop some links to your media,
Yep.
then you're likely not going to be considered, because they want to see where you've been, how you're showing up in different platforms, and if you're a good fit for their
Mhm.
conference or not, right?
That's so
And,
true.
and and having that media is earned, right? It's based on what you've already done, and so now the level of influence goes up because you catch people's attention.
Mhm.
Social media is free. Anybody
Yeah.
can jump in there. Anybody can say how sweet they are, but
Yes.
but not everybody's getting accepted onto those media platforms. And if you get an opportunity to get there, that says something about the validity of your brand.
That is so
Absolutely.
true. That third
Absolutely.
party endorsement is so, so important. It's so important because we know
Yes.
people can go on television and say anything. We're not fact checking people. We are fact checking these politicians, but sometimes we need to fact check these people too.
Yeah, there's a
So
little bit of posturing going on, a little bit,
right, that's right.
just a little
And I
bit.
and I
Just
always
a
tell
little
people, I
bit.
said, "Did you Google them? Did you Google
Yeah,
them?
yeah.
Like,
Did you
did
Google
you
them? Yep.
did you do that?" The next person is a Kimberly Perry. She is related to me. She is one of those people that is an artist, and you'll see her story in the video. But her father was in the New York Times, and his work is in the Smithsonian. She comes from a family of artists, and she owns a
Mhm.
gallery in Florida, and she's an artist herself that is fabulous. Oh my God. When I look at Kim and I see her journey at 5 years old, like really being the first time saying, I want to be an artist. Now she wasn't like her dad in terms of a painter, but she really understood art in terms of what it meant to the human psyche, the colors and the feel and really art as ministry. That's what she uses it for. So she really found the posh. Our studio is near Boca Raton in Florida. Her and her hubby Scott Perry used to be the general manager for the New York Knicks. They just have a wonderful thing that they're doing with that art gallery down in Boca Raton. So read her story, watch that video. It is
Mhm.
so, so key. And then this is another person that's going to be at the conference. Her name is Marsha Evans, and she is really transforming lives. You see the word here, transforming a lot holistically. And she's a licensed practical counselor and
Mhm.
really talks about healing. She's bringing her sound bowl. I told her to bring her
Mhm.
sound bowl. So
Mhm.
sound is one of the things. I said, bring that because we may need that. I may need that for Yolanda
Yeah.
for her to for have a little,
For
little
her to calm
relaxation.
down.
She's amazing. I've known Marsha for several years.
Oh my God, yes,
She's a graduate of Virginia State University. Actually,
yes,
was recognized for her athletic accomplishments and doing some amazing work in the line of counseling. And she's listen. She's no joke about that. She'll tell
no.
people straight up, "I earned this. This is not something that was given. It was
I know
earned."
that's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's bold, told, and sold. I love
Yes,
Marsha.
she
Oh,
is.
I
She
love
talks
that.
about the
Bold, told, and
well-being.
sold. Okay.
Yes, talks about the well-being and really just helping people get over trauma. That is just one of
Mhm.
the main things. I just love
Mhm.
love this lady here. I met her through Lindsay. Actually
Yep.
met her through Lindsay, and Lindsay was the one that introduced me to her. So she decided that she wanted to come and know more about branding. The
Mhm.
next person is, and got a couple of minutes here, is Linda Jordan, Dr. Linda Jordan. I'm sorry, talking about empowering women to lead and succeed. And that is one of the things I met her through Sean Fair. And she's a person that I met, and she's certified in NLP. She does a lot of training for another seat at the table. Just one of the things too that this certification, when I say these women, they ain't no joke. I mean, we be getting certifications on top of certifications. Like it's like I feel that and you could see I'm not saying anything that you don't know. She's a woman that is north of 50, right? So we still have a lot of juice left. And we have that wisdom and things like that. So one of the things that she wanted to do is really make sure she's packaging herself and really presenting herself because she has certification in certified life coach, certified high performance leadership coach, certified in neuro language, certified DEI. Okay. It's like, okay, we got all the certification, guys. Now, how are we
Mhm.
promoting ourselves? Okay,
Yeah.
with all this stuff. So, Linda is starting on that journey. And part of that was with the branding, getting photo shoots and that sort of thing, and writing the. And she's also certified with I see John Maxwell. So, sometimes, and I'm gonna just say this, sometimes we can get so many certifications that we need to stop and just start promoting and then telling
Yeah.
people what we do so we can get business. Okay. So that's one of the things. Linda is on the right track. She's a John Maxwell, part of John Maxwell team as well. The Brand Fluence book is coming out. I can't wait to really get it physically in my hand. I did the forward. She talked about photography. She talked about reels and stories and the strategy and monetizing the brand. I know people probably get the book and go straight to that chapter.
Get to that chapter.
I'm gonna make me some money.
It's
Yes,
like
it's
it's
several
like it's
several
fine to go
ways.
on
Several ways.
TikTok, but how do I monetize this thing? So she goes into it and that as well. And then the last page is an event that's coming up in September. I'm a part of that group again. This one is Women Elevating Women, but we do have one man there as well that's going to be talking. And Jade Simmons and Brashawn Shaw, there are fabulous women speakers. And Betty Hines is the the guru of this group, and she really is pulling women together. Our other group is a part of this, Black Door Society, and so I'll be there as a sponsor for Speakers Magazine and really sharing what we're learning at that particular event. Again, like I said, I'm the conference queen, so I love conferences. But those two ladies, that Jay Simmons is no joke. Let me tell you, she brings her piano. She's a classical pianist.
Mm.
So not only does she speak, but she brings out that
Wow.
piano. Like they bring the, and it's a whole treat. It's a whole thing. And then Brashan is called the Warrior Women. She has a whole group about that. She overcome breast cancer twice, and she really talks about really being a warrior and really fighting with faith.
Hey, I might have to come to that. I need
Yeah.
to get that on my
Oh
calendar.
my God, it's in
Mhm.
Philly. It is amazing. Please, please, I will send you
Yes, I
that.
got to get
It
that.
is,
I might need to get that. That's the 11th through the 13th of
yes,
September.
yes.
Definitely.
And one
You
of the
know,
things,
because we got to support each other too. That's the other thing.
yeah,
Support one
yeah.
another.
Mhm.
People,
And I've met so many women there. The women there that she gives awards to are $1 million earners and above. And
Mhm.
those women have like these construction companies and IT companies. I mean, they're not like, typical what you think women industry businesses.
Right.
They're serious. I was like, oh my God. And Betty finds them. Betty comes from the financial industry, and she finds these women and she gives them awards. And because they're in the industry where there's not a lot of awards, right? There's a lot of awards for other things, but not in these particular ones. And she does that as well, and recognizes them, women elevating women. So yeah, that is one. It's called the woocrew.com. So that is our issue. Oh my God. I am so excited. Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
guys, thank you so much for joining us today on the BSN Speakers Magazine. We are doing the thing. We do this every month to go through, so you can actually, when you get the magazine and you read it and you watch the videos, that you
Mhm.
actually hear from the person, like
Yeah.
hear their story. This is not rehearsed. We're like in real time. We're live. We're streaming on
We are
LinkedIn and all
live.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I wanted you all to hear from her directly and know how authentic her brand is, for real, for
Yes.
real. It is one
She's
of those
definitely the
powerful.
real. She's the real deal for sure. For
Yes,
It's
sure.
a
yes.
pleasure, a pleasure, a pleasure. I cannot wait. I will see you, Pam, next week. And YB, we will connect soon. I need to get some of that LinkedIn juice from you,
I
you know.
got you. Listen, I got you. Listen, listen, mess around, might sneak up on one of y'all on these conferences. I might just sneak
Okay,
up.
okay, you're welcome.
I'll
There's
Hey,
pop
you will
up.
always some
definitely,
fellas in the place now. Yeah,
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 don't think not. They show up too.
yes. And you
absolutely.
stand out. When you
Oh
come today,
There
you
yeah.
you
stand
go.
out.
That's right.
Yes, yes. So good. So thank you so much. And thank you to our super producer, Monet. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, YB. You are always the fabulous co-host. And
Yes.
My
I just
pleasure.
thank you.
Pleasure to
All
be
right.
here.
God bless you guys. Have a good rest of the
Have a
weekend.
good one.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Peace.
Brand up.